So we have left off with last, I thought it was 6, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 presidents, okay? So here is the first president, and I gotta grab my sheet here. The first president that we left off with was Ronald Reagan, right? We didn't talk about him?
No.
I don't think so. He's president number 40, and a fun fact about him was he was the oldest president. He no longer is, but he was the oldest president from 1969 to 1977, and he was also was an actor. Maybe we did talk about him being an actor, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we did talk about him.
We talk about him.
Yeah, we did. So sorry, that's a review. So Ronald Reagan is president number 40. After Ronald Reagan comes 41, which is George H.W. Bush. It's important to have H.W. because there are 2 George Bushes. One is George W. Bush, and one is George H.W. Bush. The first one is the dad. This guy is his son. Yep, so the dad becomes president first. And this guy survived 4 planes crashing during World War II.
What?
So he survived that. So 4 planes crashed, and he survived that. And so he was a pilot during World War II, and this happened, and he survived that. So he was a very lucky man to survive that. Okay, Libby,
Was he the only person that survived?
you know what? It doesn't tell us. I'm not sure. That's a really good question, but I don't know that answer.
Have we looked
Wyatt.
it up?
The first one was on Bush here.
Yep.
There's a Bush class carrier.
Is there? And I wonder if they named it after him. Do you think they
Yeah,
did?
they did.
They did? That's really
And
cool.
But Libby said if he was the only one to survive. No.
There was others that survived.
Yeah, because there was more than just one plane.
But maybe not everybody survived. Yeah, I mean, it's possible that they could have, but it's possible that they didn't. Kaden,
Was he the only? How did he survive?
that's
He
a
probably jumped out
very good question.
with a parachute.
We would have to research that.
He probably jumped out.
Do it. Okay, last thing, Carson.
Probably jumped out into the ocean.
Okay, the next one after George H.W. Bush was Bill Clinton. Now, Bill Clinton was president number 42, and his father died before he was even born. So he just had his mom, and then he had a stepdad, and he went to law school. So he became a lawyer, and his wife Hillary is also a lawyer. He enjoys music, many kinds of music, and he plays the saxophone. And he's known for being one of the first presidents to play his saxophone on national TV. So you could turn on your TV and you could see the president playing his saxophone because he has loved music. Addie.
Number 41.
Yeah?
Did he get hurt or anything from the plane?
I would assume so. I mean, most people, if you fall from a plane, you're probably going to get hurt. I would assume he was injured somehow, but
He
it
probably broke his.
did not say.
Like
All right. Now, after Bill Clinton becomes George W. Bush. So now, here's the dad. So now his son becomes president.
Another one was on.
And George W. Bush has a collection. He loves baseball. And he has a collection of 250 baseballs that are signed. And I once saw him at a baseball game. Once. I know. My husband and I were in Texas. And we were there. And we went to a Texas Rangers baseball game. And of course, we're sitting in the stands. And all of a sudden, they announced that President Bush was there. and they pointed like the camera up, and we couldn't really see him, but the camera showed him, and he was there at the baseball game. So he loves baseball, and he has over 250 baseballs like signed by baseball players.
How old were you?
How old was I? I was
Probably 14 or 20.
No.
I was actually well, it was only because I was pregnant with Kennedy, my daughter Kennedy. It was in the summer, so I gotta think. Kennedy is 11, so it was 11 years ago. So not that old. I would have been like 28. So I was a teacher for 7
How old are
years.
you right now?
39.
I got a question.
Hey, question, Carson.
I thought you were 34.
My dad was collecting gold
Can you please run for president?
collected a bunch of gold baseball cards.
You want Mrs. Murphy to run for president?
Yeah.
Why?
So you can be the teacher.
Okay.
So I can be the teacher?
There you go.
Guys, we all know how that went.
Okay, President 44. It is Barack Obama, and he was the very first,
The best president.
yep, African American president for the U.S. So every other presidents have been white or Caucasian, but he was the very first black president. His vice president was Joe Biden. So he was the president, he was the vice president. So he was his vice president. So that's very cool.
Wait, he's still alive?
Yep. Okay, the next president we all know
Donald Trump.
was
Donald Trump. Donald Trump. Donald Trump.
Okay, Donald Trump was president for 4 years, and he was pretty much the first president that was a really big businessman, and he knew business, and he was a great businessman. So he did a lot of good things for our country. They kind of say that he might run again, because remember, you can be president for 8 years. He was only for 4, but he might run again. So we'll wait and see. So Donald Trump was our 45th president, and then he tried to become president again, but our country said, no, not right now. So we elected Joe Biden. Okay.
I love how you
And-
worded that.
Joe Biden, Joseph Biden, is our president right now. He's our current president. Louis, thank you. And one thing I have learned is no matter if you like a person or not, you should support them, and especially the President of the United States. They have a big job to do. They're in charge of our country, and you might not like them. You might not like their choices, but you need to support them and be positive, because they have to run our country. And if everybody in the world or in our country would be positive, our country would definitely be a better place right now than what it is. So, remember, you might like somebody. You might like somebody. You have your own opinions. But that doesn't mean that you should put somebody else's opinions down or what they like or believe. Okay? Now, Joe Biden is officially the oldest president, because I believe he is 77 years old.
No, he's 82.
No, 80.
Here.
You look it up. I thought it was 77.
How old is Joe Biden?
Second.
He's not old.
78.
78. So he just had a birthday, because I could have sworn he was just 77. But he's officially the oldest president now. And so he will be president for 4 years, and then
We'll see what
we'll
happens.
see what happens after that. Okay?
Maybe Mrs. Murphy will run for
Maybe we'll
president,
run
right,
for
John?
president.
Maybe
Maybe I'll be the first girl president.
Miss Murphy, you would be the second.
First. There's never been a girl president. Now,
Joe Biden. Why?
no, she's the first lady.
Yeah, she's a person.
Yeah. So the first lady isn't president. They're just called the first lady because they're like the president's wife.
So
Wait,
technically
yeah,
she should
So
be
like
the
if I become
46th.
president, my husband would be the first man.
Wait, Miss
That's
Murphy.
what they would call him.
You know Donald Trump? McDonald's.
What? He's 46.
But he said he's 7.
No, that's the number of president he is. He's
Oh.
the 46th president.
Wow, we had a lot of presidents.
Okay, Wyatt, last thing. Okay.
First thing
Yeah, is this a good, appropriate song for school though? Okay, then let's not sing it, okay? Okay.
And then, got the other two.
Okay. That's okay, you think of them. Okay, Keaton?
I know one of the rules that Joe Biden allowed
One of the rules? Okay, what's that?
to legally kill a woman that's pregnant.
Do we all have our own opinions? Maybe you don't agree with that. Maybe some people agree with that. We all have our own opinions. People think some things are right. Some people think some things are wrong. So, who's right? We don't know. Right?
That is
Everyone thinks they're right in their own mind.
People are